further than just a card of the day. But right now, this is expanding on some of those single card of the day ideas. This one is the coming out forecast. And I do this every Monday through Friday. You can find it at 6 o'clock Central-ish, because, mornings are a little weird. So somewhere between 6 and 6:30 Central, I do the coming out forecast. You can always find it on the replay and in the playlist of coming out forecasts in case you want to look at any of the last, or any of the previous ones. But the effort is to provide a safe space for what it means to come out and share the environment of what you might be able to expect for how and when to come out. The impetus was to provide support to individuals who may be coming out as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, non-binary, asexual, pansexual, all the sexuals, and all the gender identity and all the non-conforming places that we might find ourselves in. But it's also for anybody else who might be coming out, because we all come out about different things in different ways and in different places. It doesn't always have to be how we're familiar with it, which is sexuality, though, at least initially, sexuality, though that is the main drive of the forecast. But the forecast idea is to give you some insight on what to expect. So what I do is I pull 3 cards, and it's real simple, real easy, though my experience layers in some other things, and I'll share that with you as well. So it's a 3-card layout. Most tarot everyday type of things are 1 card. You pull 1 card, get some energy for the day, you find out what your obstacle is, and so you can watch some of the other casts that I've done about what those single card draws might be. But this one is a 3-card, and it goes really quick. It runs about 10 minutes, and I pull a card for what's in the way. So for whoever it is and whatever it is they need to come out about, there's an obstacle. There's something that's in the way, or we wouldn't be frustrated or scared or curious or feeling shameful. All the things we feel when we don't want to do something, there's always an obstacle, and we have to get around the obstacle. So what's the obstacle? Let's name it, let's identify it. And once you know more about the obstacle, then you know what action to take. So that's the 2nd card. Now that I know what my challenge is, or what's directly in front of me and in my way, what do I do about it? And so the 2nd card is an action card. What action can you take to get around, over, through that obstacle? And then the 3rd card, because I think it's helpful in keeping something top of mind, is how can you be more mindful during the process? Because mindfulness lets us, first of all, it's a practice that helps us stay in tune with who we are and how we approach the world. The more you practice mindfulness, the more it becomes a part of your daily life. And the mindfulness exercise related to the coming out obstacle and action keeps you experiencing how you approach this obstacle and the action, so that you're learning something about yourself at the same time. So it's all meant to help you become a stronger person as you go through the coming out process. The other things that I will layer in there are, how are the elements lining up? Do I have all 3 of the same element? Do I have elements that work together, or do I have elements that don't? What do the numbers look like? This is patterns, basically. And I just did a great podcast interview with the tarot lady, Teresa Reed. She and I recorded a podcast for her Tarot Bites podcast. So listen for that to come out in March. You got a little waiting to do. You're going to hear more about it, but it's coming. So patterns are a big part of the work that I do, and seeing those elements or those numbers, or maybe they're all court cards, or maybe they're all majors versus all minors. And then the position will also be important. If I've got a major in the middle and 2 minors on the outside, the biggest lesson the person needs to learn is something related to that action in the middle, and maybe not the obstacle. So there becomes a set importance based on the ranking of the card within the deck and the position within the spread. So you can get a lot of information out of just a 3-card spread, especially if you're trying to figure out what's in your way, How can you get around it? And how can you be more mindful during the process? I hope this is helpful as you're working on learning tarot. If you have any questions, let me know. You can shoot me a message over at comingouttarot.com. And I'd love to hear what you think about this spread or what other 3-card spreads you might be using in your tarot everyday practice. Just leave me a message below in the comments about what it is. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe so we can keep track of each other and you can get more of this awesome content. And speaking of, if you think it's awesome content, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button because it lets me know it's helpful and it also gets it in front of other people via YouTube algorithm.